Okay, I'm back with a daily tarot reading. It looks like some major changes coming my way, especially number wise plus the cards. I got two major arcana cards that's come up for the day, and of course a death card. So that's definitely a major change. The numbers, I've got a 15 and a 13. Of course, I don't count my court cards. That 15 and that 13 um, is 28, and 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 came up for me yesterday, so there's definitely changes coming up, especially with that death card reverse and death card reverse and not wanting to let go of something. So anyway, the number one is about basically taking charge and doing things, starting something new. It's always something that's brand new, and it's about leadership and making independent decisions and some kind of progress or advancement with that death card being reversed in there. That shows that maybe some resistance, but to some changes. But I have Caranunos, or the Devil card, in the center right here, and it's reversed. So that's a good thing there of letting things go. But also, the number one, of course, especially with the zero, it's time to push forward and move forward. Of course, you got to be careful about being too rash and um, so forth. Putting too much ego with the number one being there. Now, right here, of course, I'm using my Druidcraft. This seems to be my major deck for this year that I'm wanting to use a lot. But this is the Death card in the Druidcraft. Of course, for me, it is reversed. And a death card reversed is there's major changes coming up within your life, and it's all about not wanting to let go. Major changes that are definitely coming in. They're on their way, but there's some kind of resistance, not to change that has to come. Necessary change that has to come. It's fighting that change and resisting it. It's kind of maybe being a bit too stubborn, or kind of at a standstill. Could be almost an obsession with maybe an old lifestyle. Change is difficult for people. Period. But this is kind of being stationary, immobile, not moving. But when this card shows up, um, it basically shows that you're holding on to things in the past, things that are no longer serve you. They're kind of outdated, outmoded. Issues that are coming up, and this could be somebody else. This could be relationships kind of standing up. So there may be a relationship with somebody that's kind of needs to be kind of thrown in the trash, that maybe I hear about today. First I was getting, okay, this is me, but I do see that. Just because of the major arcana cards, but this very well could be somebody else, because that kind of came to me. But again, it's the fear of the change, being afraid to change and move forward. Okay, now the central card here, I think what is it, Latin word here? It's spelled Crnunnos, but it's actually pronounced Carnunos. Carnunos. This would be equivalent to the Devil card, and the representation of what it means, because actually the Druids and pagans and everybody really didn't see the devil in Christianity. That's a Christian thing. That a fear system, fear belief system there. But anyway, when this card comes up reverse, this is a good thing. This is showing about being able to break free from patterns, things that hold you back, things that you're maybe obsessed with and addicted to, so to speak, and especially a love relationship here. So there could, could be very, very strong. Now, normally when this card comes up, for me personally, I get faith. Because when it's reversed, it's a lot about a lack of faith and so forth. It's a very, very powerful card, especially when it comes up reversed, because the fact that, I mean, you think about, say, somebody who's an alcoholic or something, and they're able to break free from that disease. It takes a lot of strength, a lot of power to be able to break free. So there's a whole lot of power that comes up with that card, breaking some kind of addiction. But when it's reversed, it's more positive aspect is basically there's some kind of bondage and you're released from it when it comes up. Even though because it is very, very negative, it can be a lot of times, you know, being a bit too rigid and still a bit too excessive on on certain things, especially sitting beside this death card here and refusal to let go. But the way I read and the way it comes through with me is this is basically facing your fears, getting out there and confronting those fears, and removing things that hold you down, and getting rid of codependency when this card comes up. So in this more uh, positive outlook, um, that I normally get with the reverse card with this when it comes up for me is basically, things that but really wasn't important, or limitations basically you've put on yourself, uh, be it a sexual relationship or drugs or alcohol or something that you've done yourself. You're able to get the strength and break free of it, and things that really don't matter, that I'm gonna false values keeps coming to my mind. So things that are false, that it's an addiction to something. I don't know. Say somebody was addicted to sports or something like that, hardcore, and but on the reality, um, all that ego that goes along with it and so forth is basically when it's kind of set aside, and the real person without the competition and everything else, um, those values are looked at as the core issues instead of the ego issues being more important. That's kind of what this is saying when it comes up reverse. You're looking at things that are more valuable, or an alcoholic, what's more valuable, of my life, my liver, or this alcohol, or a relationship that's just a sexual relationship. So either way, but a lot of this is with me, it's breaking loose of fears, and getting over that fear and moving on. Now, my third card I have here is the Princess of Swords. Okay, and this would be in the Rider Waite system. This the Princess cards are would be the pages, and of course this is an air card, so it's going to be about thoughts and thinking, this and that. But when this comes up, is all possibly some upsetting news when this comes up, especially I think with this death card here, and not letting go and so forth. But because it is air and dealing with your mind, it's about being very decisive, making decisions, um, and having a very, very strong will. And what first popped to me when the card laid down is intelligence and learning. So I'm going to get, using the intellect that comes up with this. The ability to, with that sword, kind of being penetrating, some kind of penetrating insight because of the knowledge and stuff that you have about something new, or learning something new. But there's always some kind of exciting changes that seem to come up with these, something that seems to be new. Um, you're using a lot of logic and, of course, being fair about an entire situation. Um, you know, uh, this one thing that comes up is maybe somebody's been kind of snooping around, spying a little bit, with that there, because you think of a child, someone small, and they're kind of nosy, wanting to learn things, so they're kind of snooping around. But one thing as criticism when it comes up with this one, say constructive criticism is kind of important with this card too, because the fact that if somebody does say something or whatever, they're able to cut through right through the truth and tell you the truth, and they're giving you true criticism. But anyway, usually you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to have to think real quick. You're going to have to, you know, do everything logically and rationally, and be more fair about a situation. Some professional advice could possibly come to you, and this is going to be, very good professional advice if somebody that you come across, either myself giving advice or somebody giving advice to me or somebody around me. So, um, you know, you need to kind of worry about, because this is, I get swords and I'm getting iron, steel, and because this can bring exciting type changes. The fire, I kind of get kind of irons in the fire. saying that basically, if you commit yourself to something, don't commit to too much. Don't have too much going on there. Uh, because things are going to come up unfinished because this is a page and they're not well rounded enough to really get things done. And that's just kind of popping at me. So that's something definitely to look at there. But either way, there's going to be some kind of news that comes in, which always comes in, and I get the bird standing out here on the card. So that's always news or messages and things where you have to think logically and rationally. So anyway, that's going to be my reading for the day. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off and go get my Lenormand reading done. I appreciate everybody who watches. If you want to join me on Facebook, it's on look up Hermit's Vision on Facebook. On Twitter, it would be at D Scott Dodson. That's DODSON. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back.